Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the KB Talkshow. I know you're thinking you're not KB. My name is Yinka. I'm your host. And I'm not KB. And that's because the man himself is in the chair of truth today. He's going to be telling us about his journey, the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, the good and the bad. He's going to be telling us how he created a successful business, how he's helped others create successful businesses, and just everything he's done to become the man he is today. Kwame is a man I've known for many years. He's a man of great character, shown great leadership throughout that time. And if you know him, you know he's bursting with energy, and that's infectious wherever he goes. So welcome to the show, Mr. Kwame Badu.
Yeah, come on now,
How
my
you
G.
doing, brother?
Come on now. You gotta start your own talk show now with them kind of intros, bro.
Right. Let's get into it. Let's
Straight
get
to the
into
juice,
it.
man.
This is very familiar for me.
Yeah.
I've spoken to you about many things over time, and I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. But let's just start with how do you make money?
I make money, yeah. I mean, for me, you know, a lot of people talk about multiple streams of income. So I've always tried to do that. I do several things. So I'm connected with a family business,
Okay.
which is a care company called Complete Care Solution. So yeah, we look after people around sort of North and East London,
Right.
dementia, elderly people. You know, the family members people don't want to care for. They give them to us.
Yes.
And we get paid to look after them.
Oh, that's good.
It's
People
great.
need that service.
People need it. And it's actually astonishing how many black people, especially African descent and West Indian descent, are happy to give that care. You know, and sometimes there's not black people we're caring for. That's what's even more interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, so that's one of them. So Complete Care Solutions. I have my own personal one, which is KB Consultancy. So that's about helping businesses grow. We do that through web development, digital platforms, marketing, accounts, finance. If you think of any aspect of business you need support on, we have consultants that provide that. And you know, I like to talk. You know, talking is my thing.
Talking
It's
is what
my
you
thing.
do.
When I used to work for Carrefour Warehouse, G, I was the top seller of Talk. Talk is famous because of me. Because all I would do is talk.
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, remember that, right? You know, they used to give us like £10 commission every time we sold it. And I talked my ass off. Commission was my thing. So, yeah, I then thought, let me get myself out there. So I do quite a bit of public speaking.
Right.
I work with a school in East London called Grateful School. I've been working with them since they opened, in fact. So all the students know me. So I get paid to do talks there. And what I am trying to do, I also have passionate things that it's not necessarily financially, it's not monetized just yet, but it should hopefully get there. And that's like this, the talk show, the podcast, you know, we've got our podcast.
Yeah, we got a podcast, College Bros Podcast. Check it out.
Check it out, man. We talk about relationships in the most controversial way, but it's good and it helps people grow. And that, I would like to say, is almost like my CSR, my corporate social responsibility is, how do I give back? And I do it through talk shows, I do it through speaking. And, you know, if I get paid for it, then fantastic, yeah.
Well, there you go. So if you're wondering how the man gets that money, how you see this successful man, the man of many talents, does many different things.
419.
Just tell us, what made you who you are? How did you get to this point? What's your background?
You know, a big thing I would say, Yinka, yeah, is parenting. Parenting. And I my parents divorced when I was 11 years old. I had that decision I had to make. My mom came up to me and said, so son, you know, it's not working out. We're divorcing. Who do you want to live with?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's quite
you know, my mom's always been, she's a businesswoman, you know, she's always been direct. And it's funny because at the time, I never thought about how it must have made her feel with my response. You know, I was just thinking about me like, man, okay, I gotta choose correctly, man. Who's it gonna be? And, you know, I remember saying to my mom, we lived in
You
East
think that was
London.
a fair thing to do to make you make that choice?
I think so. I think in a sly sort of way, my mum knew who I would pick.
Right.
You know, but I think she wanted to make me feel like I had the choice. She wanted to make me know that it was all right with her. Like, go on, go with it. Okay. And you know, she didn't give me a look and a wink while I was asking me who do you want to be with. My dad was always my hero. You know, he used to take me to work. I used to walk around with him. So I think she already knew, you know. But yeah, you know, I think when we even talk about fairness in life, it's so relative, man. What's fair? What's
I
not?
know, I get it. But my reason I asked that question is because I think when you're at that age, maybe it's easier for the decision to be made for you. Because I think making that decision, like you said, kind of put the responsibility
on me.
On you.
Yeah. And you know, and I mean, when she asked me, she was looking right at me like, this is
decide.
Yeah, this isn't like come back to me next week. It was like, tell me now. And you know, I chose my dad. And you know, I'm a big believer of boys growing. You know, if I were to advise broken homes, Yinka, I would say the role of a man or as a dad, I think, especially for sons, is integral from like the year 9, 10 and up. I feel like that's the age where they need dads. I think young boys, if you've just got mumsy around or, you know, mum's looking after you more time, you just need love. And that's where the, you know, mums and sons, that bond is crazy. So I believe that's where, as a dad, even if, you know, you're not around, that's where you even see mums do it. Like, listen, go and stay with your dad now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, at that age. I think with daughters it's different. And I have 2 girls. And I think it's important to be, I think with girls, you just need to be there the whole time, I believe. That's just, you know, my mindset. But, you know, that really shaped me, bro. And we lived in, it was Chingford. So we was opposite Chingford Hall estate. You know, so we had all the man them that lived in the estate. So, you know, like Morfire crew, Nico.
Yes.
He lived in the estate. He was a young'un then. We knew him by a different name, you know what I mean? And he used to just hold me up in that. So I was so happy to see him blow. But I used to have all the friends from the estate come and knock on our door. We lived in a white neighborhood, if you like, of Chingford. But when my parents separated, you know, the money went. And me and my dad moved to the 20th floor of a tower building, you know, and that was a culture shock, you know. So that was a lot in shaping me. And my mum and dad, you know, but my dad more so was very instrumental in getting me into a school called John Loughborough School. So this was a private school, and I've been teased about it a lot, but I will say schooling really shapes you. You know, this was a West Indian school. The head teacher, the deputy head teacher, all of the teachers were West Indian, mainly Jamaican. And not, a lot of them didn't grow up here. A lot of them were fresh from yard that come over. Strong accents, you know. I remember as a young African kid, I used to be like, not understand what they were saying. You know, and I'll say it in the class and they would laugh just like you're laughing, thinking I'm taking a mick. Because I always had a jovial side to me. I'm like, no. I seriously don't understand. I don't understand what he's saying. And, you know, it was a private school, so they had, you know, corporal punishment was normal. Like, they could bring out the meter ruler stick or the table tennis, and they would beat you. But a lot of what I learned from a young age was from that school. You know, Black history, that was big. I learned about Arawaks, Caribs, Marcus Garvey. You know, they taught us a lot. The way I write, drawing, handwriting, these were things that were principled, that you must do it this way. And I think it was great. All the students were Black, you know? So it was like I was going to school back home, and they taught like it was back home. You know, so that was quite shapely. And it again, when you know, I think after a few years, my dad couldn't afford the private tuition fees anymore. So I left and went to a school called Tom Hood. You know, that was in the bits, Leytonstone. I think it's called Buxton School now. They had to change the name. I mean, Tom Hood. Yeah, you can't have the word hood in a school name. That's in the hood. Jesus, man. So, you know, that was also an eye-opener and taught me different things. Yeah, but I would say those are the key things that sort of shaped me. I think parenting is very big. The type of school you go to and the education you get, very big, you know. And I suppose there was some spirituality coming from my mum's side. She would take us to church every Sunday, you know. So even though I live with my dad, that was mainly the time when I would get to see my mum. But I didn't have the conventional grow up, man, where people grew up with their mums. I didn't. I grew up with my old man.
I agree with you on the fact that I think boys do need their dads at that age. When they start hitting about 9, 10, they're looking for someone to copy, to emulate. That's so, you know, figure out how to be a man, essentially. So I
Yeah.
think that's important. I also agree with you that it's fantastic to be around people who look like you.
Yeah.
I think it puts you at ease. So I think you're right about the private school.
I mean, it was funny, you know, they were like me, but they cussed the shit out of me, boy. You know, I got called with ABC, African body cleaner, African this, African that. I remember going home, I was like, Dad, like, man, how did they like me?
I don't think they like me over there.
How did they like me, man? Like, and the teachers keep beating me. I don't understand the accent, you know, like it's kind of peak. It was.
You're good at doing the accent now.
Right, you know, I was able to pick that up. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that really helps shape, and it's a key thing, man. Schooling is good, and being around like-minded. It made me tough, bro.
Yeah,
I think what helped me in that school was I was good at athletics.
Okay,
I could run. Yeah, Carl Lewis was like my you know, idol back then, you know, and I used to love the way he used to run. He was skinny, and I wasn't tall like him, but you know, he could run fast, and so I used to run and represent in the sports day. They used to split it into 3 groups, the whole school.
Yeah,
and even that, it was so pro-black. Even the groups were named after. I think there was King, which is obviously Martin Luther King.
Mm-hmm.
There was C. Cole, Mary C. Cole, and then there was another one. I can't remember the name. And yeah, when you ran for that, you represented year 1 to year 7 to 11.
Right.
So I got olders that were like, yes, you're that guy, innit? You can run. And then that's where I now started getting, you know, a lot of love and rep then. But yeah, that shit shapes you, man.
Okay, let's talk about some deeper stuff. So you obviously had your parents break up.
Yeah.
And that affected you.
Yeah. They divorced, yeah.
Since grown up, got married yourself, and had a divorce.
Foolish move. No, I'm joking.
And had a divorce. Do you think there was any impact on you from your parents? Let's just talk about, you know, let's talk about your journey to getting married and the divorce, and whether or not you think, you know, your childhood affected that in any way.
Yeah, I definitely would say it affected it. I remember, I mean, set aside for my marriage, there was a lady I was seeing. This was funny enough after I separated from my wife at the time. And the first time I went round to her house, first couple of times, she always cooked. And I remember going in the kitchen while she was cooking. She was like, don't you know you don't go in the kitchen? You know, like when a woman's cooking, you don't go in the kitchen. I was like, first and foremost, I always grew up with my dad. So, you know, he held one end of the chicken. I held one other end of the chicken. And we chopped that shit up, man, and made soup, you know what I mean? So I didn't really have a lot of that as an example. So that, you know, a lot of my upbringing did involve in it. But yeah, I met my kid's mom when I was 21. So I was very young. We were both studying biochemistry, so we had that synergy. And I met her at Wood Green Boots. You know, working at
I used to work in Boots.
Yeah, I used to work in Boots, man. That's where I met that woman. Good Lord. If I knew then what I know now. But anyway.
Don't lie, you'd have still done the same thing.
I still would have been it. You know, and it's the funny thing. People, I was with her we were 15 years in a relationship.
Right.
And, you know, I think it was married for 6 of those years. And, you know, it was in the marital years where we managed to, you know, we got the bigger property, the big house, and had our 2 girls. And, you know, I always say to people, you know, you can look back on relationships with regret or what have you. But I mean, for me, in this day and age, you get 10 years out of a relationship, that's a plus. It's a different dynamic we're living in. You know, we've got polygamy and all of that becoming a bit more of a norm nowadays. You know, there's a different mindset. But we try the old school way and you know, yeah, so it was all good, and we grew apart. I think, you know, if you meet your partner and you, like, I was what, 21, 20, I think I was like 22, something like that. You meet someone then and you're still with the lady now, your missus now, that's God sent. That is blessings, because you've gone through so many different changes as individuals. To move together as one, that's magnanimous, man. I think that's great. And, you know, am I happy now that we divorced? Can I get up and dance to illustrate that?
No, don't do that.
I could do
No, don't get
Zonto. Hey, I'm gassed, you know, and I think I'm a better parent now.
Right.
You know, I believe she is as well, and we got an understanding. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Did I help you understand maybe your parents breaking up? Did you feel differently about it once you? Because I think when parents break up, kids can kind of feel quite negative about it. But maybe when you get older and realize adults don't always have it together, and sometimes they get it wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it gives you more of an understanding.
Yeah. You know, it's I don't know. I never really compared the two. It's, you know, now you're asking me, I think it's strange. I never really looked at, you know, my parents' relationship and then mine. I just saw them as two different worlds, two different paradoxes. But I think post the relationship, you know, when I went through to divorce, because I actually then got therapy. I actually went and started seeing a therapist because it was quite a hard time, the separation. And there were some things he highlighted to me and spoke to me about. I had a male therapist, and that let me see that, Raj, you know what, I do think a lot of what I experienced as a child affected me as a husband, as a partner, you know. But I think, I'll tell you one thing, I definitely saw that there's life after divorce.
Yeah.
There's a lot of negative stipulation around divorcing. You know, I think it's just looked as in a bad way, negative, but it's just a title. People break up all the time.
It's a new start.
It's a new, listen, big new start. So yeah.
All right, let's talk about winning. Since we have put the negative stuff to the back.
Yeah,
let's talk about winning.
Yeah.
You're doing well. You have a successful business. You've helped other people succeed in their businesses. What's your key to winning? Or your different keys?
Different keys to winning. I would say, you know, at first, be nice. I think be nice, you know, spread love, because that ultimately then comes back to you. I think that's a key aspect. We were just talking about, you know, the breakdown of my marriage. I honestly do believe the network you have, the people around you. If I'm coming home every day to a partner who doesn't have the same vision as me, is antagonistic, sees things differently, that's my sanctuary. That's where I go home to recharge.
Yep.
If I'm not getting that energy back home, how can I possibly go out? No matter how strong-minded I am, how can I go out and give that positivity out there? You know, so I think definitely, you know, spreading love, who you associate yourself with, your network is your net worth. You know, I'll say I'm blessed to have you as a friend. You know,
Thank you, brother, man. I'm blessed to have you as a friend.
Come on now, this is what we do.
Now we're done gassing each other.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be like you, bruv. But you know, I think even today is an example. I want to tell my story or an element of it. Yeah. Who can I get to come and interview me? I have a friend. I have someone in my network that can come and do that, and will use the same level of, has the same vision as me. You know, and I think, you know, that reciprocates through all of the networks that you have. I think you've got to have a strong mindset.
Right.
You gotta like failing. I think you gotta
well, at least get comfortable with it.
Get comfortable with it, yeah. You know, you don't want to like it too much.
No, it's not nice.
You know, let me just keep failing. Life is good. No, failing is a hard thing, but I think, the comfortability or knowing that, you know, it's almost like I want to go from Stratford to Lewisham. I know I got to go through the Blackwall Tunnel. Where there's not going to be much light, it's 2 lanes, there's going to be traffic, but I know until I go through Blackwall Tunnel, I'm not going to cross the water and get to South. If you look at the Blackwall Tunnel, if you like, as failure, that's it. You got to go through it, and then you come out the other side and you're nice.
Yes.
You know, and then maybe the next time success is back in East London.
Yep.
Now you got to go through the south way of the Blackwall Tunnel and go back through. But I think because you've been through it already, because you've been through the tunnel, you know you're familiar with failure.
Yes.
And you know it don't cripple me.
Yes.
I can come out of it. And the same thing applies to marriage. The same thing applies to relationships. You know, people are like, Kwame, would you get married again? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you don't go get a job and the job doesn't work out and you go, right, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm done with employment.
Done with employment.
You know
Doesn't
what I mean?
work. And just using the traffic analogy as well, I think failing also teaches you better.
Yeah.
You know, imprints the knowledge in your mind a lot more.
Come on now.
Just like if you're traveling somewhere and you get lost and you're completely confused.
Yeah.
And and then you finally find your way out. Next time you go through that route, you know exactly where you're going, because you were lost in that area and you remember quite clearly where you.
And you've also learned a new area.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, in going through that, there's a reason why when we injure our bodies, there's a signal that goes to the brain.
Yeah.
Because that's of pain and hurt.
Yeah.
You know, you don't think about nothing else but that pain, because that's the body. I got to teach you that you got to be more careful. You can't do that. And I think probably as a last point, you kind of got to have a learner's mentality. You know, you got to be brave. You got to throw yourself into situations that you know nothing about. I didn't know nothing about talk show. I didn't know nothing about running a business. I didn't know nothing about athletics, rapping, anything that I've done. And you've been a part of most of them journeys. Look when we did the Ends documentary.
Oh, yes.
You know, we just got ourselves a little camera, traveled around all of London, filming Kelly the Rock, PDC, Style OG, back in what was that, 2007, asking them.
Just a desire to
just
do
a
it.
desire to do it.
You know what's funny about that is how it gets better the more you just, second you start. Yeah. Because we started with sort of low level stars, and then we got even more and more famous people as we went along, just because people saw that we had this desire to do it and they believed in what we're doing.
Exactly, you know, and it's good to see some of them, you know, like when we interviewed Style OG, you know, I remember what he said. He was like, it was almost like, I don't have a plan B. Yeah. This is it for me right here. I've got to make this work. I've come from yard. And he was even saying how it's a privileged life over here. Yeah. You know, we do have a lot of benefits here.
Absolutely.
You know, cut all the talk about racism and disparities. If you have the desire and you want it, create leverage. Find something that people want that you have. And once you've got that leverage, they will pay you. They'll hire you. It's not everyone you work with that likes you. Do you see what I mean? You know, like they say, if you want everyone to love you, sell ice cream.
I say summarize, be nice.
Yeah. Spread love.
Spread love.
Your network. Have a very good network. Be comfortable with failing. I like comfortable, maybe not so much liking it. Be comfortable with failing. And
keep learning.
And keep learning. Yeah. And do that by thrusting yourselves. 2022 is here. You got to be like, I'm going to do something that scares the shit out of me. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I mean, even recently we had a conversation about something that I'm planning to do that scares the shit out of me, you know.
Yes, I think
Yeah. Well, there's so many, so you're great for thinking out.
I'm like, which one is he talking about?
And I don't want to say it and put him in shit. But no, G, don't say that. Edit it out. No. I'm actually planning to go on a talk show. Not a talk show, on a TV show.
Yes.
So basically I was minding my business and a platform called Married at First Sight. Right. Slid into my DMs and they were like, Kwame, we've seen your Instagram page, your social media. We think that you'll be good on the show.
Right. Is something that happens often, people slide into your DMs?
Yeah. Women slide into my DMs for positive purposes.
I'm sure.
They do not slide in for any form of intimate affiliation with me.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So they go into DMs, and I remember reading it and thinking, this ain't real. Are they serious? But, you know, they had a representative from the show, and she contacted me. You know, we exchanged numbers, and she was like, yeah, you know, I really think you'll be, you know, a vibe for the show. Right. So I put it up on my stories. And I think I had about 80% of my followers were like, yeah, go for it. Okay. And 20% were coming with the, man, don't sell yourself to the devil, man. Don't sell your soul, bro, man. You don't need this. And I ain't gonna lie, if you know me, that kind of is what spurs me on. You know, I kind of like when people tell me, don't do something. And you know what? It depends who it comes from. Yeah. You know, if you're where I want to be and you advise me, Charlie, I pay attention. But when I, you know, not to sound cocky, but if I feel like I'm either on the same level or above, I'm going to take your advice with a pinch of salt. I'm going to try and see logic in it and weigh it all up. So, you know, and even in, you know, so I've agreed to go on. It's not confirmed. They're doing their due diligence and so forth. But I think they really want me on it. And
Are you nervous?
Hell yeah. This is new territory. And this is what I want. And you know what's funny, Yinka? Yeah, I must have said to myself, probably before Christmas, I was like, yo, Most High. Because, you know, I have conversations with him. I don't go on my knees and clasp my hands and that. I just talk to him.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
But, you know, this is just my way, you know. And I was like, look, man, I'm doing this talk show. I got the podcast. I'm working hard, you know. I married one of your daughters. You know, I pray. I raise my children right. I love my girls. I'm a good guy. You know, I've got so much to give. I want to pop. I need some exposure, man. Like, help a brother out.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we say these things and we put it out into the universe, and then we carry on with our lives, and then lo and behold, this opportunity comes along. So yeah, it makes me nervous because I probably would prefer more something like The Apprentice, you know, something more in line with my brand and what I do. But at the same time as well, I love a challenge. I love to do something that's just out of the box, wild, you know. And as you know, I spoke with some of my close comrades. I spoke with you, I spoke with my sister, I spoke with Luke. And it was just like, bro, it's like, am I mad, bruv? Like, am I doing the right thing here? And again, having the right network, you guys helped me make the decision I realized I'd already made for myself.
Right.
That was, I love exposure. I'm going to do this
I
shit.
just want to say, on the record, no matter what show Kwame goes on, he will make an excellent man on that show, I tell you.
Oh,
good show. It'll be a good show.
Love for that. Love for
that. Right, okay. Tell us 5 things that everyone should focus on to be the person that they want to be, to reach their full potential.
To reach their full potential, I think it's in line with some of the things we mentioned earlier. I think focus on who you're partnering with.
Okay.
Yeah. Focus on your
wife. You think that's the biggest decision of your life?
I
partner with?
I think your partner can really determine what you do. I've spoken with many successful people, and many of them are married. And when they speak of their partners, whether it be a husband or a wife, there's so much positivity and encouragement and enthusiasm that comes from them. Does it mean you have to have a partner in order to succeed? No. But I definitely think in this world is so corrupted. There are so many barriers. There's so many bullshit and fakeness out there. You need someone in your corner, you know, that's got your best wishes at hand, you know. You know, I've recently done an interview with Spencer Fearon from the boxing world. If you think of a boxer, when you finish doing your rounds, you got to go back to that corner. What that guy says to you, it's not, they patch you all up and send you back out. That's cool. But what they say and get in your head, the tactics they give you to go back out, and you see that dude get back up, ding, ding, goes to the middle of the ring with different energy, run into the center because of the energy the person's given. So I do believe who you got in your corner, your partner, is a big thing. Other things to focus on, I would say don't focus on the money. This is a crazy thing because I love money. I love it. Who doesn't, right? No, I think there are some people out there that are like, oh, I don't like money. It tend to be people who don't have money. But I would say find something focus on something that you love, that you're passionate about, that you're naturally good at, you know, and be your authentic self in doing it, because that's what separates you. In this day and age, most people probably do what you're doing. It's been done. It's been done. People wore the t-shirt. So what makes you stand out is your authenticity, your vibe. You know, me is my deep voice. It's my ability. I'm a bit crazy. Some people say I'll do wild things. I'll do something different. Personality. Yeah. You know, I'm wild and a bit carefree, and I speak my mind. But also, I think I'm very giving. I'm very kind, and I like to give off energy to other people, empower others. So, what can I do that I can monetize and make money doing those things? So when I focus on delivering those things, and obviously find an angle that you can monetize from it, that's what you focus on. And when you get good at that craft, you know, you're gonna reap the rewards. Yeah. And
how about because you know you're a guy who stays in
fitness.
Shape.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a big part of
100%, bro.
Of your success?
100%, bro. I think your physical health and your mental health, those are the things that help all the other things run. Your love, your tenacity, your consistency, people wanting to be around you. You gotta win in yourself before you can be a winner to others. So absolutely. And for me, going to the gym is like therapy for me, you know. I go in there, yeah, it makes me look good. The ladies, then you become the goddamn sugar. The ladies love the flex. You know what I mean? But also as well, it kind of gives me energy. You know, I'm a bit more sprightly in the morning. Look at this morning, coming here, Sunday morning. Got energy. I was gymming last night. It gives me that buzz. And then mental health. If I had my way, Yinka, I would say from school, everyone should have a therapist. I would say that because I think, first and foremost, we always talk about how we only use 5% of our brain. I think the brain is so powerful in not only making you be who you are and who you should be, but also it can drive you to areas that you didn't even know. Mental health or having a therapist is not always about you're down and out and you need someone to pull you out. It also can help unlock some of your potential to help you shine and fly. So I definitely would say those are the things to really focus on.
Maybe look as a therapist as a coach, because I think people hear therapist and they get a bit nervous and think, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with me."
Right, it says I'm crazy.
Maybe see as someone that can coach you into using more of your mind.
Come on now, I've had a coach, I've had a therapist for my marriage, and I've had a therapist personally for myself. Not the same person. And both of those has given me so much clarity, so much insight. Insight Productions, shout out. But it's given me so much clarity in that sense to be able to do the things that I need to do and shaped me into the person I am today. And I think it's fantastic. And you're gonna go through an area in your life where you're gonna be downtrodden. And just like your physical health, you'll go to the doctor. If you've got an ailment or your stomach's hurting, you'll go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our brain, our mental health, we don't want to see nobody. We think we can fix ourselves. What do you know about it? So tap into that. And I actually believe a lot of people will win even better. The hate that people hold, the envy, all the negative traits that a lot of people hold inside is because of something. Maybe trauma. And therapy can help push beyond that.
Yeah. I honestly believe you don't really find yourself until you're in that low place. I think that's when you really, really find out who you are and who you want to be.
Yeah.
And then start to work towards it.
I mean, look, Jay, I'll tell you this quickly. In 2015, my marriage ended. I had to move out of a house I had put every penny into. I'm talking £100,000 to buy that property.
Right.
I had to move out because the marriage had broken down. At the same time, my business, which was a recruitment company, was losing funding. Labour were gone, Tories were in. A man like Chris Grayling didn't love the poor.
I'm not sharing this money.
I'm not sharing this money. I don't know what these Labour guys were doing. Kept the P. My recruitment company, which was supporting underprivileged people, now the funding was tight. That was going down.
Right.
Combined with that, my dad had prostate cancer. And, it was a sticky situation. Is he going to live? Is he not? And then I'm homeless. For lack of a better word, bro, I was fucked up.
Yeah.
And yes, I've got you as a friend. I've got a couple others. I've got my sister. But everyone's living their own life.
Absolutely.
How much can they actually support and help me with? And it was at that point, I just went on Google. I looked for a therapist. I found someone local. Bang. And it not only what you said there is bang on the money. I found out a lot about myself in that 2015 to 2017. I was like, wow, because I saw now why people sit on park benches, why people jump off bridges, why people feel suicidal. When you lose everything, money, love, your home, that's what defines us.
Yeah.
And then you're losing your parents. Like it was a tough time for me. My dad was my hero. And I moved in with him and started caring for him, as well as trying to run a business, as well as going through a divorce.
Yeah.
It was hard, bro, So I found out a lot about myself. And that's why now I actually care less about a lot of things. Like I don't give a shit.
No,
I'm
absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that I think that's where the true power comes in. Once you stop caring about those things that box you in, I think it really frees you to be completely who you are. And I have to say, I think when parents get to a stage where they show vulnerability or they fall a bit ill, like my mother got really injured last year.
Right.
It makes you step up to another level, I think.
Absolutely.
Because you realize now, actually, it's me now.
Yeah. It's me.
You know, I have to make sure,
Come on.
you know, this kid's okay.
Yeah.
The old man is okay.
That's right.
And it does make you make a shift, I think. So
big shift.
And it's a big shift. Big shift.
Yeah.
Big shift. All right. So we've said physical health, keep learning.
Yeah.
Get your mental health in check.
Your mental health in check. Yeah. Choose
the
right person as well to be in your corner. Yeah.
Yeah. A big part of what you do is helping other people succeed in their businesses. How important is that for you?
Yeah, I think it's big. You know, I just love seeing things grow. You know, even on this talk show, I've attempted to bring other people in who I think can gain exposure from it, learn some skills. So I think it's really big. And you know, every contract I've got, I think the biggest contract I've ever got, HMRC's watching, but the biggest contract I got was quite substantial. Let's leave it as that. Let's leave it on a relative term. And, you know, that came off the back of me helping someone else.
Yes.
You know, everything I've gained has been that. And, you know, you never know who you're going to need support from moving forward. We don't know the future. And so great, you know, when you help people, they never forget you, man. They never forget you. I have people, remember we used to work in working links where we would help people get jobs and they were on benefits for years, not because they didn't want to work. They just didn't have the right guidance, someone to help them. Yeah. Anytime I see them now, they show me love. Yeah. Some of them have even elevated to places in businesses where when I went to bid for contracts, they were there.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
To say, you know what, this might help to me. Bruv, you've already got the contract.
Yes.
All you got to do is just follow this protocol, bang.
Yeah.
And then you're like, man, I could have treated this guy so differently. You know, one of my KB Talk interviews with Bobby Kasanga. You know, he's gone clear. He's on his own football club now, Hackney FC, big things. He's got a bigger following than me on socials. I met that guy in 2011. He was an ex-offender, just come out. And I was trying to get him a job in perfume shop in Stratford. Go and sell some Chanel, big man, some number 5. You could do it. And he was like, bro, this ain't my portion. This is what I want to do. I want to start my own business. I'm trying to be like you, fam. And so I gave him some tips on that and he took it and it's flown. So it's very, very important. You know, I would tell anybody do that. Just go around helping people. Make sure you've helped yourself first though.
Of course.
Don't, you know, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Make sure you're set good. And then when you're there, send the ladder down, help other people.
Yeah, you've done great things, my brother.
We'll continue to do it.
You've changed the world in your little way.
In my own way.
It's hard, sometimes it's hard to see it, but you'd be surprised how many people would appreciate the things that you've done. Like you said, people are always throwing the love back at you, man.
Yeah, man. So, listen, yeah. I definitely want to shout out everybody that's supported. You know, it's been great. The production team on this, Inside Productions, no label required. Yinka, you know, my College Bro podcast compadre, Afro Pop Socks, you know. They just keep sending me these socks. They just keep sending me socks, man, and I love them. You know, and I think a lot of it's from the energy. When I'm on socials and that, what people always say is, we love your energy and we love what you're doing, you know. Shout out KB Consultancy, Complete Care Solutions, Joe Caesar Designs, who made us these lovely cushions. You know, there's so many. And I'll make sure when this video goes out, I'm going to list all of the people that have supported. And those who have helped get here, Shakira Tanay, RM Cooks, Crystal Chaplin Walsh. You know, it's been fantastic, man. And I think if you don't help others and put it out there, you're just not going to get back everything that you deserve.
Yeah,
you just won't get it. It just won't happen. You stunt your growth.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure, my brother.
Come on, man. Thank you for your questions.
It's been strange being on KB Talks as an interviewer and
you could do it though, man.
Being KB.
You got this, man. Maybe this was my way of trying to say, yo, G.
Jump on it.
Yeah, think about this thing, man. Do you know what I'm saying?
Check out College Bros podcast every Monday, 9 p.m. IG live. Also, check out Super Stories podcast where we know season 1 has gone by, but we'll be back for season 2. That's me and my wifey doing a little fun thing there, so check that out.
I love Super Stories podcast, man. Y'all talk about some raw stuff.
Yeah, man, it gets deep.
Yeah, it gets deep, man. Big up, man, and thank everybody, man. G, what can I say, bro?
It's been fun.
It's been
fun, my brother.
Now. We should do this again. Listen, if I come off of this show, if I go on this Married at First Sight, I need you to interview me again, bro.
Ask me what. Of course.
You know, keep me grounded. Maybe I'll be famous, you know. I'll be like, G, I ain't got time for you, bro.
Bro, you will be famous, but you have time for me. You ain't got a choice.
Big up, man. Thank you,
That's
bro.
all, brother, man.
KB Talks, yes. Love.
Boom.
Boom. Come on now.